All right, welcome everybody to this wonderful show that we call the Dad Hat Chronicle Sports Show. I am your host, Ed Rivera, the Dad Hat. Obviously, you guys already know. And with me, I got my two co-hosts, my wonderful good friends, Patrick Larson, back from my little mini vacay. How are you doing today, Mr. Prospector?
Well, Mr. the Dad Hat, I am doing well. It's good to be back. Sorry to the audience for the little mini unplanned vacation, but I'm so happy to be back with the Dad Hat and the mayor and ready to get to work. So let's go.
I love it, love it. All right, and obviously my other co-host as well is Mr. Mayor himself, Donnie Wise, with the new gear going on. I love it. How you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good. Got the Canadians hat for Boxing Day today, and
I love it.
Got my Seawolf Christmas shirt. I'll be home for Christmas since I was home. Got
love it, dude.
Got a little sparkling bubbly here later to celebrate my fantasy league win.
Oh, that's right. We got to talk about that right there.
Oh man!
And I've got a hat rescue coming up. We'll do that at some point in the show as well. With
absolutely, my friend. Absolutely.
Patrick's going to have to witness one live on there.
Oh, I've already witnessed one live, and it took away about 30 years off of my life. So,
corporate media, we are just here saving hats all over the place. Everybody, that's how that goes. But guys, I want to. Well, obviously, he is the bad boy of corporate media. He will not curve a brand, but it's okay though. We will forgive you. Hey guys, let's. I want to start out by saying, okay, you get your Canadians hat, you got your Lansing Lund Nuts. That is a beautiful looking hat right there. You got, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
And then obviously,
that A shirt. I like that A shirt.
I know, right? The A, it's such a cool logo, right? I'm hoping that I'm so hoping that Oakland sues so that way they can keep the logo, the colors, and all that in Oakland. What is going on, Lynn? I hope you are doing well, girlfriend. But I want to give you a shout real quick. I'm back at it, guys. Kona Brewing. Back at it again. So
I like it.
I needed it this week.
Son of a Nutcracker.
I love the name.
From Millersburg Brewing in Ohio. They actually collaborated with Bueller's grocery store for this version of their Christmas ale.
Did Ferris get that on his day off? Or
son of a nutcracker.
Exactly.
Phil, actually, you're right. That is one of my favorite Copa hats. The Lansing Lund Nuts, the locos, man, it's such a cool looking. I love it. The blue with the yellow brim on ours, and then the logo on the top. Absolutely one of the most wonderful logos out there when it comes to Copa brands, right? What is going on, Mr. Professor Hatter? How is Chi-Town treating you, my friend? But guys, I usually would start with the NFL and all that good stuff and all that, right? And we will. I got the list here, right? And but I want to first start by congratulating the mayor himself on a win on fantasy football. Congratulations.
Hey, it was hard fought. I came back from a 2-4 start, first 6 games, 2-4, to finish 7-7, and I hate it for Jordan because I mean Jordan's a great person. She had a 10-win season. However, I beat her 3 times this year. So
you were the only one because I could not beat her.
You should your Panthers try to come back and win. So yeah,
I tried so many times to beat her. It's just like it came close, and it was just right at the end. She's like, whoop, off. Yep. I was like, never mind. I give up.
My second win against her was by like 2 points as well. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have even made the playoffs.
You're right. But again, man, dude, congratulations. That was a good season for you when it comes to fantasy football. On my other league, where I'm the commissioner, right, with some of my family and friends, I was in dead last the whole season. Like injuries devastated my whole team. Like it was just like as soon as I picked up somebody, they got injured. It was that year for me, right? Of course, my wife, she's in it, Darla, right? She's in it. She auto-drafted, and now she's going to the championship.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? So I know, Mike, the only one, Donnie is pretty much the only one that was able to beat Jordan all year. My brother in first place all year. And got spanked by my wife.
Real quick, since we are on the fantasy, I might as well get this out of the way because I got this beautiful hat in the mail today from Brett, and he lost to me in the first round of the playoffs. Bet a hat on it. This great Rockets hat, and
that's a beauty.
That's beautiful.
It needs a little curve to it though, so I'm gonna set the earphones down.
You go for it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, no, get these stickers off
don't
here.
Do it.
Joe Jones does not want you to do it.
Get all that off there. Give it the old
Joe Jones does not want this.
A little push pull.
No.
Push pull.
No.
Yeah.
Unpush.
There it is. Congratulations.
Doesn't that look so much better? So much better.
Oh, look at that. Congratulations on a wonderful, wonderful hat saving opportunity that we got here tonight.
Definitely.
I mean, this is just great stuff.
Yeah, that feels so much better. Nice little curve on it and everything.
Like when you curve it, like, boom, there it is. Yeah. And then Mike Sellers is with you, Patrick. Just ruined the hat.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Glass case of emotion. Oh my God, that's too good.
You better be happy it looks so good on you, Mr. Mayor, because I cannot endorse this cap rescue thing of which you speak. I was already called out on Christmas by one George Falkowski. So
hey, listen, he started it, and then you just got to go with it. You got to save him.
Yeah. I'm already not nearly as cool as George is, and then he has to throw that on me, and I'm like, I'm just fighting a losing battle here.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Guys, let's talk about Christmas. How was Christmas for you guys today? Actually, this whole weekend, really.
Go ahead, Patrick.
It was good. I've come down to see my parents and spend, just tried to focus on spending a little family time. So we, Christmas for us is really more from my nieces and, making sure that, they've been on their, probably the time to get to us about their third Christmas, because, there's never enough stuff that they can get. So it was good. And honestly, just spending time with family and, eating a lot of good food, playing games. And,
that's how it goes, baby.
Yeah. And just like the presents are great and everything, but the time that you spend with family and those that you want to spend it with is really what matters most. So really good and really a much needed relaxing time after work's been so crazy for all of us, I'm sure. So it's just I hope everyone was able to have a good Christmas with those that they like to spend it with and doing what you want to do. And I'm very, very grateful.
My man. What about you, Mr. Mayor?
Ours started Friday. We have family from Asheville that was down for our quote unquote Christmas Eve celebration. It depends on when Christmas falls as to which day we actually have it on now. But same thing, they come down, we have an afternoon of just playing bingo, and, with goofy prizes and stuff and presents and just really good food, celebrating time together and all that good stuff. And throughout the weekend, just, went to my mom's, my stepdad, they were sick, so we didn't get to see them. But the advantage of having grown kids is you don't have to get up too early on Christmas morning either. You have to go about 9:00. It's like, all right, guys, come on down. So that's the good thing of having the older kids is they sleep in with you too. So
it was not meant to be in the household here in the Rivera household. We were up early. Yeah, we were up early.
Way too much food. Rhonda and I tried to finish off the last little bit of sweets and treats and things that we shouldn't be eating today, so that it's over with now. We got to get back on track tomorrow morning. So
yeah, right before we start New Year's, right? We got to get going. Let's not wait till New Year. Let's get going right now. That's exactly how I am.
Yep.
I think even on the 25th, I'm not even gonna lie, guys. Even on the 25th, I went out for a run.
Oh,
I went out for like a 7-mile walk today. So it was just one of those ones where, you just, because I've been eating way too many sweets and I think of the three of us, I probably have the worst eating habits anyway, but just trying to get back on it and trying to, get back into a normal eating routine rather than just eating nonstop for 24 hours, which I'm not used to doing. So,
but that's usually how it goes, right? From the beginning from
Yep.
Thanksgiving on till the end of the year, it's just
Yep.
nothing but bad eating. That's the one thing. I was like, we got to work out extra hard just so that way when we get to this time of year, we know we're going to be just absolutely just destroying food.
I had all intentions of getting some walks in yesterday and today, but it's been raining since we got up on Christmas morning, and it hasn't stopped.
We're getting that rain. We're getting that rain now.
So hopefully tomorrow I'll get out there and get a walk.
Yeah, we had it like Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day, and just like nonstop. And today was the first time. It was still dreary, and it was still looking like it would rain, but finally I had like the 2-hour window to get out there. So my mom and I went out for a short walk to start, and then I kind of continued after all that, and just kind of got in a little bit more walking. So,
nothing wrong with that, baby. I love it.
It was all good. Since I'm not doing that 5 a.m. Ed Rivera, medicine, I gotta get up and do it at some point. But I'm trying to. That's my Ed Rivera New Year's resolution, is to get up at 5 a.m. to start doing some workouts. Yeah,
I even got up at not 5 today. It was actually beautiful, guys. It was. I'm not even gonna lie. It was wonderful.
Wow, you slipped in 5:15, man.
Yep.
That was
I slept in good. Let me tell you. I want to touch on a couple of things, comments here that we got going on before I continue. There's a sale on 47. Yes, I know. I'm on the website right now, and I'm actually also on the minor league baseball website. Also looking at.
You see what you guys did,
right? So, but here's what I'm doing. Right, I've already bought a lot of my 47. So what I'm going to do for the sake of the brand, right, Dad Hats, I'm going to concentrate a couple of buys here on 920s.
Okay.
I'm gonna get some 920s. I'm gonna do a couple of videos on comparing some of the Dad Hats that are out there, right? 920s. The you got they got a 47, and there's like 3 or 4. OT Sports has one. Buka has one. So there's a couple of them that I want to get, so that way we can do some comparison on Dad Hats. So that's coming. I want to keep that out there for. But yes, I do see the cleanups. I want one. Phil, how do we feel about receiving gift cards? Totally okay with it.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm at the age where I'm totally okay. It was like, give me a gift card. I'll get what I want.
Yeah.
No issue.
I was just about to say, and as far as like giving them to people, I'd rather them get what they want than be saddled with something that they don't really have any use for.
And we've all been there.
Yeah. I mean, we always talk about what is one of those famous, not so famous questions. Have you ever regifted a gift? A lot of times it's the thing that you don't want. So, so a gift card at least allows you to get something that you could actually use, or that you want, or that you can get a gift for somebody else if that's what you want to do.
Right. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. The family fruitcake was given to me. That means next year I'll have to pass it on to another relative. Yep, pretty much.
Okay, I want to know. I want to know how long ago that fruitcake started. Is it the same one? How many years?
That's what I'm saying. Right,
going around, or is it new? Is it a new one each year?
It's like cockroaches surviving the nuclear war, right? Like, I mean, they'll survive. So will fruitcakes. Those are the two things for sure that will survive.
Well, I was going to say, Phil, it makes a greit doorstop.
Exactly.
True story.
Ed, you're just being celebrated. That's the reason for the balloons.
And anti-theft. It's also an anti-theft device. You can knock somebody out with that thing. All this extra food, and now I crave a big salad without dressing. No, I'm still will do a dressing.
Yeah, I need some kind of dressing, but it doesn't have to be a heavy dressing.
True story. Italian dressing, a little vinaigrette.
Yeah, just a vinaigrette. Yeah.
Listen, here we're classy people here, baby. We even talk salads and dressings here.
That's right.
Could be worse. You could be Paul Caputo going for runs in Sub-Zero Colorado. Done it. Done cold weather runs. Those are not fun.
No.
But you know what though? The key to this is do not overdress. Once you overdress on the cold weather, it's going to be so bad for you because you start sweating and then you get even cold. So wear like as little as possible. We'll still maintain your warmth, and then you'll be able to do that.
Wear a thin jacket.
I actually passed a guy in Ohio one day working week before last. He was out jogging. All he was wearing was a pair of shorts and a pair of tennis shoes. I mean, no shirt, no nothing. And it was like 38 degrees out or something. This dude is nuts.
No. But the thing is, people think that's like that they're
No.
crazy. I thought the same thing at one point. Still, I started running in the cold weather, and I'm like, shorts and then maybe a hoodie. I'll wear. The one thing though is I do have to wear gloves. My fingertips are very sensitive, and they start hurting. Other than that, off we go.
But also, I used to have a subscription to Runner's World, and that's what they always say, that only up to a certain temperature, you should watch how many layers you put on, because of that very thing that you were talking about, Ed, about sweating, and then you actually get colder because of all the sweat that you have in there. And then if any of that wind seeps through, then it gets even worse. So they kind of tell you to keep the layers thin that are manageable, and then try to go from there, because you actually go to more warmth doing it that way. So.
I'll confess, I like Claxton brand cake, fruitcake. Honestly, I cannot do the fruitcake. I've tried it. It's like a choking hazard. You know what I'm saying?
One time years ago too, with my grandmother, and I was like, nope.
No, never again. This fruitcake is so old; it has fire damage when Sherman burned down Columbia. Oh my God! So there you go. Listen,
so here's what we want to know: does a certain chili place in Cincinnati sell fruitcake?
Probably. It's just to make sure that it's so dry. They use that chili, which is not really chili, to just get it nice and moist.
With Skyline chili filling.
There it is. There you go, and lots of cheese just to make it even worse.
Delicious. Wow.
I just threw up in my mouth.
Yeah. See, guys, hey, I was gonna crack open one of those cans I picked up at the grocery store the other day and have it tonight, but I had too many other things going on. So maybe Thursday night I'll have some Skyline chili while we're doing the show.
Mike Sellers will be very happy with you on that. If you do that, I will go get myself some Wendy's chili, and then we'll even it out at that point.
Yeah, Ed, I'm with you. I'll go and get the Wendy's chili.
There it is. See, I'm just saying, it's just so much better. So far, what we talked about fruitcake, running, Christmas, and not even and then fantasy football. There you go. So we're off to a great start already, guys. We're off to a wonderful start.
This sports show can't be a variety show.
Exactly.
No, that's why I called it sports show, right? We can talk about anything and everything on this show, guys. So we're good. We are totally good.
For all we know, ESPN 8 The Ocho has like a fruitcake throwing competition.
Tell me why I was watching it yesterday and today.
You what?
Yeah, tell me why I was watching the Ocho. They were showing games. They were showing wiffle ball, slippery stairs. They were doing kickball. Dude, I was watching it. They were doing, and I was like, I'm in.
I love that. No, but I mean, in a fruitcake throwing competition, you see by the biggest divot that you can put it, the biggest hole you can put in the ground, because once it gets all that air and it's so hard, it's going to create like a hole in the ground. So that's how you know who wins. So
there it is. I'm just saying, guys.
They need to get some world-class shot putters together and have that be a Christmas special where they're shot putting fruitcake.
Bro,
I love it.
I would so want to call that event. Exactly. That would be so much fun.
And Donnie, you can be the mayor of ceremonies.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Right.
A corporate media event. What are we doing? Shot putting fruitcake.
That's right.
That would be amazing. See, we come up with ideas. The next one is not going to be free for you guys.
The CBC, a curved ring Christmas.
There it is.
You go.
We'll dress up in Christmas minor league gear.
Between all of us, we could outfit a lot of people.
Yep.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? I just started looking at. I have a lot of T-shirts. I just realized I got a lot of baseball T-shirts. I have a lot of hats.
Yeah, if I did T-shirts with all the hats that I have, I would really be in the poorhouse. So I can't do the Mike Gotsis T-shirt and hat combos. I stick to the minor league baseball shirts, and that way I say I have a T-shirt for every team. So
exactly. You're supporting the shield.
Right, exactly. That way I've at least got it covered. Now there are some teams that I will make exceptions for if I really, really like the logo, but it's usually few and far between.
I just want you guys to know that I'm literally on the web. I'm talking to you guys. We're having a great conversation, but I'm on the minor league website right now looking at Dad Hats. This is
I'm not even the least bit offended.
This is a bad thing, guys. This is, it's an
It's called the
addiction.
holiday hangover, my friend. It's called the holiday hangover.
Isn't it Boxing Day? So there you go.
Boxing Day leads to unboxing day.
I was just about to say, I love that.
Well, I should probably stop because you know what's coming, right?
Yeah.
January 15th.
Yeah.
Is there like a big day coming up?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I mean, I totally wasn't planning on spending money that day.
Neither was I. Listen, I warned my wife already. I told her, I was like, I'm going to probably do a live show. I'm probably going to take like half a day or something and probably do some recording like at a store, one of the team stores.
Yeah, I need to look into that.
So that might be the thing.
What day of the week is that? I even forget.
That's a Friday.
It's on a Sunday.
No.
Wait, the 15th? 15th is a Sunday.
Is it? I'm looking at December.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's usually a Sunday.
Nope.
No, it's a Monday, isn't it?
It's a Monday.
Oh, is it Monday?
Oh, right. That means I'm already off.
It's a Monday, everybody.
And it also happens to be Martin Luther King Day this year.
There it is, too. Yeah, I won the Iowa Cubs.
And National Hat Day. I have a dream, and the dream is.
I think I'm off from work too.
Yeah.
Done. I want the Iowa Cubs caucuses hat for the president. You know what? I have it. It's a nice one.
So do I.
The tricolor one.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. I have that one.
Beautiful one.
Guys, the Pensacola Blue Wahoos still have the Polk Duck hat for $38 to $9.20.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of dad hats that are done that way. A couple of teams really price them high. Springfield does that as well. With their
I'm not going to do that.
That's a little bit much there for me for those hats. Yeah.
For a dad hat. Okay, listen, guys, I already know
you get over $30 in this.
Yep. Lynn, I am not just there, everywhere. I want the political ads and I want the caucuses to end. I want the political ads everywhere to end. I'm over it already. It's good for every 4 years. You're 100%, Professor. You get to wear it that much.
New Hampshire primaries.
That's right.
I mean, usually one's going to wear one over the other. I mean, but not necessarily. But it's
well, the people never win, but we'll see.
Right. Well, it's so you've got a few political ones out there if you want to do that. So
January 27th, Braves Fan Fest.
Yeah, Phil, that's right. I forgot about that.
Are you going?
I am not. I can't go to Braves Fest if I'm not a Braves fan. So
you'll get to see some gear and stuff like that. No.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see, but probably not.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
It's like asking me to go to a Yankees fan fest. I can't do that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Sorry about that.
Well, at least your team's not trying to sign the same players, thinking that doing the same thing twice is going to achieve much different results, because that's all the Blue Jays seem to be doing. So,
well, we're trying to give away players, so
Well, didn't you just get a former Yankees top prospect?
We did actually.
Yeah,
for a right-handed pitcher.
Florial, did I say that right? Florial.
I think so. Like I saw it coming through Twitter today. We gave up a right-handed pitcher to the Yankees for him. So
Cody something.
Yep. So Professor says I have the Democratic, Republican, New Hampshire Fisher Cat hats. That's a cool one. Yep.
So do I. Yeah, I have both of those.
I've changed my name to none of the above. I win the election. You right, Lynn?
Listen, Lynn Smith for president. I mean, she's worked in presidential libraries. She knows. So,
Donnie, Phil wants to know what size is that pushpin map?
It's a 24 by 40.
It looks cool. Saw the little pins.
Oh yeah, it's so cool. Those little tacks, man, look like a baseball. They're kind of pewter, and just pop right in the canvas there. And they've got a baseball right where all the major league stadiums are located. And I'm going to get some kind of little colored pins or something that I can pop in where all the minor league teams are.
That'd be pretty cool.
So is that the Donnie Wise mayoral tour map, like the official
there it is.
campaign website? Is that the official map that we can all get?
Exactly. It's where my stadium campaign's going to follow. Yeah.
I love it.
TheWiseWay.com.
It was very cool because when Ron did it's customized, it says the Donnie Baseball Stadium tour on it right there.
Ooh, that's awesome.
It's very cool.
So we
TheWiseWay.com.
I gotta find that because that's pretty nice. I like that.
That's awesome.
What's up? How you doing? Sorry, I missed the beginning. I was hanging. No, nothing wrong, baby. I have the fishing on the Iowa. Oh man, look at that.
Nice.
Yeah, Brett missed the hat rescue already. So Brett, we gave this thing a nice curve, and Patrick about passed out and fell over and almost hit his head.
Now,
Brett was a nightmare.
Mike Sellers also passed out too, though.
Exactly.
Mike, the struggle is real, my man.
Come on, Pat. I'll buy you a Los Bravos beer. Phil says, "There you go." He's enticing you some good beer. Look at that,
man. I appreciate you, Phil.
The Dad Hat Chronicles Fantasy Champion Tour. That's right. It's only, that's why we got the mayor right there at the bottom. Look at that. He even has his little bubbly ready to go.
Look at that bubbly. He's all set.
But listen, guys, I wanna talk about a couple of things that I've been thinking about here for the last week or so, and I've heard it over on the radio, but I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Right, let's go baseball here. Mm-hmm. We're talking about the haves and have-nots, right? The Dodgers, the Yankees, and all that. And then I want to get your thoughts on: is this good for baseball, right? And who do you blame? Because I've been hearing a lot of, the Dodgers are this and the Yankees are that, so they're the evil empire, right? And it's something that I've been coming around to the thought of is they're just playing the game, right?
Yeah.
They're playing the game they're playing the game by the set of rules that's been set by Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
I don't blame them on that, right? I don't like it. I wish my team, like if I was a Dodgers fan, I'd be like, get them, let's go.
Yep.
Right? I'm a Guardians fan. I don't like it because my team, the owner keeps saying they're a mid-market team, which they're not. They're higher than the San Diego Padres, and the Padres are spending left and right when it comes to per capita and all that. Cleveland is bigger, so that's a bad excuse. But I mean, I'm having a hard time now coming to realizing that it's not the Yankees' fault. It's not the Dodgers' fault. It's not these big team fault. It's Major League Baseball for allowing this disparity when it comes to the big teams having to be able to spend the money and the little teams not being able to do that. I mean, am I wrong?
No, I think unless you put in a salary cap, it's the only way that you're ever going to stop this from happening, because you can put in things like revenue sharing, you can put in things like a luxury tax, but the fact of the matter is that some owners are not even going to be afraid of that. We saw Steve Cohen last year with the Mets. The Dodgers ownership probably is helped by the fact that Shohei Ohtani is deferring so much of his contract, to be able to do what they're doing, because I know that the Dodgers ownership has not wanted to go into the luxury tax threshold, but they've still shown that they're willing to spend money, and they're not worried about it. And quite frankly, I think that the commissioner likes it because it's happening in one of the biggest markets that they have. They'd like to see more of it with the Yankees and with the Mets. So the teams, I think you said it perfectly, Ed. The teams are not doing anything wrong. They're operating within the constraints of within the rules of what a baseball allows them to do. And when they see an opportunity and they think it's going to be best work out for them financially, they're going to do it. And, we all wish it was our teams doing it. And, and I see what Zach's saying. I'm not saying that I'm in support of a salary cap per se. I'm just saying I think that's the only mechanism that would be able to be used to do that. I mean, I don't think I know the Players Association would never agree to it. And but I'm saying, like, short of that, this is going to stick. This is going to keep happening. So it's that's just the only point I was trying to make.
But what if we, Instead of having a salary cap, because we know it's not going to happen, create a salary bottom, a minimum amount that the team has to spend, 100 million.
It needs to be a floor for the teams have to have a payroll above an X, whatever X number is. The problem that's going to probably be that you're going to get guys that they're going to overpay for just to hit that number. And there'll be guys that they wouldn't normally give it. They'll get a few extra million here and there. So it may help some of the players, but ultimately I don't know that that's going to change anything. I mean, every time there's a big free agent, like an Ohtani or whoever, if Trout hits the market or anybody hits the market that nature, the first teams you talk about are the Yankees, the Mets, the Giants, the Dodgers. Those are all in there. The only reason the Dodgers landed both Yamamoto and Shohei is because of Shohei. If he wouldn't have given them the option of the deferment, they had no money to pay Yamamoto, and he's probably in one of the New York teams. So he did something no American player probably would do, which is the honorable thing, and say, hey, I don't need all this money right now. Give it to me in 10 years. It's still going to be sitting there. I mean, he's done something to change the outlook of some of these teams. If there are other players of his nature and salary level willing to do the same thing to help their team, because Dodgers had no chance of getting Yamamoto, in my opinion, money-wise, and unless they just really wanted to break the bank. But I mean, if they're paying, if they had to pay Shohei $70 million a year, and
I heard they were still going to be in it
they might have still been in it, but it was easier because of Shohei's
generosity. 100% made it a whole lot easier.
But you're right. All they're doing is what they've always done. I mean, it's always been the big market teams get these handful of high dollar guys, but at the same time, we've seen that doesn't mean success. At the same time. So everybody's complaining about it, but until you win something with it, you're just spending a lot of money and not getting anything for it.
Right here. I love this comment right here from Zach. It's great for baseball. It creates villain in storylines. It gets eyes on. It's similar when LeBron went to Miami. That hurt me, by the way, Zach, being a Cavaliers fan and watching that online. But it creates storyline. Yes, it does. Yep. To your point, Donnie, listen, just because you're spending the money does not mean that it's going to guarantee that you're going to win a championship. It helps, most certainly, but it doesn't guarantee it. So you're right about that. New York Mets, exactly. The Yankees haven't been in the Emerald Empire in decades. They were upped by the Dodgers and Nets for Yamamoto. Mets, he meant. However, owners will keep on spending millions in the future, 100%. Zach, the MLBPA will never agree to it, especially Tony Clark at the head of the union. They'll never agree to a cap, but I'm sure they will come to the table when it comes to a floor. That they will agree on, because that means it's more money for their players in the long run. Brett, well, what about the team like the Royals, who brought up a lot of young players, 2012-ish, at once in pre-arbitration? Cleveland brought a lot of young players early on, right? Look at Lindor, the story of Lindor. As soon as Lindor came on, the clock started on how long Cleveland was going to be able to keep him. Even the owner said, enjoy him while we have him. He literally said that on national TV.
See, that's the part I don't understand with some of these teams like Cleveland and some of these other teams is you're not having to pay everybody a ton of money. Why wouldn't you pay these few players that you've brought up the big money? I mean, I don't understand their thought process. I understand it, but I don't. I mean, you've got to.
It's a cash cow for them, and it's more money in their pockets.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And Major League Baseball should do something about that part of it. Like, that's where they should look at an owner and say, wait a minute, all you're doing here is just trying to keep a certain percentage bottom line and hurting your team by throwing these players and then shipping them off somewhere. You're never going to be competitive overall.
And that really hurt as a fan of Cleveland, right? Because you want to get yourself enamored with a player, right? You want to root for a name on the back of the jersey just as much as the front of the jersey. But it's hard because you know that in a couple of years, you're going to lose them to the Mets, the Yankees, or whoever, because they're the ones who are going to be able to afford that big contract, and then not only be able to afford it, but at the same time willing to pay. How's that? Yeah, those are the teams that are willing to pay for those contracts.
on the flip side, there's going to be a lot of people that look at the other side of things and they're going to say, well, look at the Tampa Bay Rays, right? I mean, the Tampa Bay Rays lose people every single year, but and their payroll is, like, let's face it, near the bottom, and they very rarely ever pay players, but they find a way every year to get the right type of players. They have the right mix of bringing in the right guys, but also developing their own players and bringing back the right prospects and trades. And I think there's a little element of luck to that, because sometimes, you need players to pan out, but also it's just having a good scouting system. And that's something that a lot of the smaller market teams are trying to emulate. But I think that I think we've seen that it's a very, very hard formula to replicate. Yeah. So while I think other people are taking that argument, it's not as easy to just say, oh, become the Rays. The Rays have taken years and years to build that type of system and that type of scouting team to try to identify the players that they need that work for their organization.
Another example is the Baltimore Orioles. How long were they bad? For how long? Right? Yeah. Building the minor league system, building it. Those players are coming up. Those are the players that have been in that system for so long that now they know what's going on. It's frustrating because they're talking about, well, the Baltimore Orioles is going to be able to keep all these players now.
Yeah.
My point is, why not? I mean, it's not like you got to pay. Right. I don't understand why. It's not like as an owner, you got to sit there and say, oh, well, shoot, now I got 10 guys I got to pay $40 million to. No, you don't have that many that you got to pay that much to. You're going to have some that deserve a lot, some that deserve a little more than what they're getting. And you may have to get rid of a few or here and there. Like to your point about Tampa Bay. I mean, they let go of a guy, they had Snell left and they did okay. They just got rid of Glass now. They'll backfill him with somebody. I mean, they get some good guys that they have to let go, either walk away or trade away. And then they just backfill them with other guys coming up and they get a circulation going. Hopefully Baltimore won't be so stupid that they're like, okay, these 5 guys we can't keep.
And we're going to have to trade them away for young players again that we'll see in 5 years.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, and Baltimore has also benefited from having the number 1 pick, 3 times in the last 6-7 years. And that's not guaranteed. That's a lottery. So
that's a lottery. Yes.
And so to get a player like a Jackson Holiday, you had to get the number 1 spot because whoever landed at number 1 was going to take him.
But not only that, then you won't see that player for a couple of years at the very least.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was going to be my answer. The Cubs, Lynn.
Yeah.
Professor Hatter, name the last team other than Boston, Los Angeles Dodgers, and Yankees to be number 1 in payroll bonus points for the year. I don't know the year, but I was just going to say the Chicago Cubs. That would have been my choice right there as far as payroll.
Yeah.
That's what I would have thought too.
Or it could be, because I know how Dombrowski works, right? It could be Detroit, when he was in Detroit with the championship team.
Especially when Mike Ilitch was spending.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time they had David Price. They had Miguel Cabrera making big money. They had, they had a lot of players making big money.
So there it is. Since 2000, only around 60% of the top draft pick make it to the majors. That is so wild to me. I've been hearing this one a lot, right? The top 10 draft picks just don't make it. It's those late ones, right? Oh man, look at that. Baltimore, 1998, $70 million.
Wow. That was like the Rafael Palmeiro, Albert Bell. That was
right after Bell left Cleveland.
Yeah. And he signed that big deal with the Orioles.
Yep. And was never the same.
And $70 million was the top number 1 payroll.
And now one guy got that.
One guy gets that
per year.
Yeah,
per year. That's
average.
Right. Yeah,
per year on average. Well, how the economics of baseball have changed. Wow.
Right. Yeah. And listen, I don't want to hear about like the economics from the owners or anything. Like I have no desire whatsoever. I do not have the appetite to hear from owners. Like there's no money. Bullshit. There's plenty of money. Plenty of money to go around, right? Especially with streaming services, with different ways of using advertisers and things like that. I don't want to hear it. It can work out. So it's just, I'll say this though: Cleveland is spending a crap ton of money. I don't know where it's coming from. I think it's the city on renovating the ballpark again.
Well, the thing is, if you want to make money, you got to spend money. You got to have success. If you don't have success, the money's not going to come, and then you're just going to keep being in this bottom of the barrel cycle. So
the Pirates,
yeah, I mean, like you said, it's not the Yankees or the Dodgers. I mean, how do they make that much more money than all these other teams? I know they have some local contracts and TV contracts and things like that, but it's not like these other teams don't have some kind of local contract themselves. It's not like that. It's not like they're not making money off of tickets. I mean, how many people go to a Yankees game? They don't always have a full stadium. So it's not like they're selling out every game at home in New York versus, Cleveland or one of these other teams. It just,
but the chances
they don't want to spend the money.
But the chances of New York selling out more than Cleveland is pretty high.
True. But if you,
as a matter of fact,
you
tickets
get some players
go up in Cleveland. They go up when the Yankees are playing.
Right.
When Otani was playing, those tickets were double.
Yeah.
Right. So when those big teams, when those big market teams come to town to a small market team, they know that they're going to sell out. So they're gonna raise those tickets a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, the Angels, they spent a ton of money. I mean, they were spending money on Otani and Trout, and I mean, they went out and spent a bunch of money on Pujols years ago, and that didn't really pan out for them either. I mean, they've earned some money. Yeah.
So let me ask you, Zach, because that's your team, right? Do you think, and this is my opinion, right? Like, I think they mismanaged and they misspent with the Angels. They gave some bad contracts and they couldn't just get out of it. That's the problem. Do you think that they can? That's one. And number two, do you think that they're right now wishing that they didn't give Trout that big money contract?
Yeah.
Ricketts Cubs owner will want to spend money on the Cubs network that is hard to access. New betting site on Wrigley that ruins the confines outside, almost buy Chelsea before spending on a good team.
Yeah, he's right. The Ricketts family was in to buy the team that I support in the English Premier League, Chelsea, before they were not selected as the preferred bidder. So
what happened there?
They went and met with supporters, and supporters were didn't want to back that because there was a firm out of New York that was handling the bidding process about who was the preferred bidder. Yeah, and Chelsea's previous owner had had some guidelines in place that and Ricketts could maybe match it, but then they dropped out when they figured out that supporters of the club were not backing their bid. So in order to save face, they backed out at the 11th hour from going through the final process. So ironically, the Dodgers owners or members of the Dodgers ownership group actually were part of the group that bought Chelsea. So, but they're finding out that baseball is not like soccer. So, two completely different types of ownership. So, it's yeah.
There's your answer.
Yeah,
they're fine with my contract. The problem is, Artie Moreno needs to go. Like, there's some bad owners out there, which is micromanagers similar to Jerry Jones, rather than let the GM and front office do their job. Yeah, just like Jerry Jones.
Yeah, and the thing is, Moreno did put him up for sale for a little bit, and then when he wasn't getting offers that he wanted, he backed out and he decided to keep the team
because it wasn't worth he thinks that they're worth this much, but they're really not there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, not quite to the same level as the Angels. Sorry, Zach, but the Blue Jays spent quite a bit of money too, and they underperformed. I mean, it's not like the Blue Jays exactly have a $20 million payroll. I mean, they've got a pretty decent sized payroll, but they have not played to the expectations that have been, that they should have. They have drastically underperformed. I mean, and that's what happens. I mean, people have made the point that a large payroll does not guarantee success, and they're absolutely right. And we've mentioned the Mets. I would say the Blue Jays last year, the way they kind of acted in the playoffs. I mean, everyone thought that the Blue Jays were a favorite to win the AL East last year, and they didn't come even close.
Not even close. They didn't sniff.
They weren't even in the conversation. So it was like every team. It felt like every team except the Blue Jays at one point. So, and the Red Sox probably. So
the other thing too with the Dodgers, I don't know if y'all had heard this. I know it was like the day or so after the deal was done. The manager, name it right out of my head, Dodgers manager,
Dave Roberts.
Yeah.
Dave Roberts. Sorry, I blanked on his name. Dave Roberts was on Dan Patrick, and Dan asked him about Ohtani and what his role's going to be, because of the not being able to pitch and everything. And Roberts basically said that until September, he's our DH. So they're paying all this money right now, and all he's going to do this coming season is DH. So I think they're kind of setting the bar low right now too. So it's not like, well, if they don't make the playoffs or they're struggling late, all this money you spent on Ohtani, blah, blah, blah. Well, he's just DHing, so don't blame him right now.
And maybe defer, but they're still protecting their investment.
Exactly. So
and they knew that,
and that's
right?
smart.
I mean, they knew smart going in that what Ohtani couldn't do at this point.
Yeah.
Right. So every team that went to go bid for the Yankees knew that. The Dodgers knew that. The San Francisco Giants, which by the way offer the same amount of money as the Dodgers, they knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Blue Jays even offered his, upwards of that type of contract. It's just that, he knew where he wanted to be. So. I mean, the Blue Jays were in it to the very end. Listen,
let's be honest. Ohtani's a smart baseball guy. He knows that's what he wanted to go look at the training facilities. That's what he wanted to look at what the structure of the team is built, right? Because he's going to defer that money, but at the same time, what do he want? He wants a championship, right? He wants an opportunity because he did not get it, no offense, Zach, with the Angels.
Right.
And was not going to get it with the Angels. Simple as that.
Yeah. And that's a shame because the Angels were primed to have championship runs with.
They should have. They should have had that. Yes.
I mean, the last couple of years, those guys have been prime position in their careers, and they didn't put anything around them.
So. Man, go back in time and give them a Chuck Finley, a Mark Langston, a Jim Abbott, and some of these other guys that the Angels have had in the past, and let that team take a run. That would be fun to watch.
Our boys. I mean, and we're almost there, right? We're not too far from baseball. This show is eventually probably going to be switching over to all baseball talk and no football or anything like that, because this is our bread and butter. This is what we do. This is what we eat, breathe every day, right? But let's talk a little bit of football, right? As you already know, and I didn't tell you guys this, but Patrick did send us 2 picks. We're not going to talk about those picks because they didn't do good, so we're going to go ahead and bypass that. But there were some picks that were made last week.
Can't wait for all the baseball talk.
I know, right? So it was Eric was gracious enough to help us with the picks last week, Donnie and myself. Okay. So I want to go over a couple of them because I want to first start by saying that Donnie was the only one that picked the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, I'm talking baseball. Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Steelers to win over Cincinnati. That was just a bad game for Cincy.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even see that coming, but I just felt like Pittsburgh was going to bounce back after their issues. So,
yeah.
Baseball zone right now. Which what you watching there, Zach?
What
Probably
you got?
Korean.
Yeah.
You got Korean. I know
Korean or
done.
Caribbean series. Caribbean series is actually going to be starting.
Caribbean, yeah.
No, the Caribbean series is not started yet, but there's the
Okay.
Dominican series. There's also the Puerto Rico League. So, did you hear the Du Bois County Bombers of the Prospect League in college summer ball signed up? Yes, I did. And you sent us that tweet as well.
I did. I think I sent that to you guys yesterday or the day before. Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Very awesome.
So long may it continue.
I love it. Indy Wall and doing their thing. Collegiate Woodbat doing their thing. Oh wait, Major League Baseball not doing their thing. All right, let's move on.
Besides the fact that I picked the Steelers, when I saw the Jets winning over the Commanders, I really got mad because I made you scratch out that one and change it to Commanders.
You did, and I circled that right there.
I was like, dang it.
You did. All right, we all picked the Bills. We were right there. We picked the Colts. We were wrong there. We all picked the Packers.
How were we wrong on that one? I don't know how we were
knows?
wrong with that one.
It's the Colts being the Colts.
I mean,
you
Taylor
weren't here.
Heineke comes
You
in
weren't
and
here,
boom.
and we were giving you support right there, baby. We were giving you support, and then no, not gonna happen. He's watching the Venezuela League.
Okay.
Here, I'm gonna read them. Los Cardenales de Lara contra los Leones de Caracas.
Man, I love it when you tell us when you pronounce it how it's supposed to be pronounced, Mr.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I do, baby. Listen, I gotta use my Spanish somehow around here. We were wrong on the Colts, though. I wanted the Colts to win. I mean, they were.
I'm so glad I didn't go to that game on Christmas Eve. I am so glad I didn't go to that game.
Did you have an opportunity to go?
Oh, we talked about it, but I said, for me it was family time on Christmas Eve, and boy, was that the right decision.
It was the right decision. It most certainly was, because my God, were they bad?
Yeah, the Colts couldn't do what the Panthers did. So kudos to you, Mr. Mayor. The Panthers actually beat the Falcons. The Colts didn't. Not only did the Colts lose, they got walloped. Like it wasn't.
Fret you not, my friend, because you're still in the 7th seed. Okay.
Yeah.
Somehow the Texans and the Titans. Somehow the Texans and the Jaguars lost too.
You're welcome on the Houston
We
Texans.
still
by
win
the
the
way,
division. Somehow
you're welcome on the Houston Texans. My brownies got you there,
my man.
We'll talk about the Browns because I really want to talk about that.
Giving you that, we can forgive you for the referees giving the Browns that win several weeks ago.
You are forgiven. You are forgiven. Okay, so we all pick. Oh wait, we didn't all pick the Jets because someone decided to go against us and pick the Commanders. Had me scratch it. Okay, had me scratch
the Jets,
this
for the record.
Yeah, so it's all the most of the world. The Browns, we all were there. Jaguars and Buccaneers. I got made fun of. Okay, I got made fun of on this very show for picking my boy Baker. Okay, I got made fun of, and guess what happened? Okay, Mike Sellers, how's your MVP looking? Oh wait, he's injured again. So
shots fired.
Oh, that's right. I said it.
Mm-hmm.
So
you just threw some Wendy's chili at his face.
I sure did.
Oh,
with the little crackers on the side too. So a little crunchy on the. So yeah. Listen, Baker Mayfield is working himself into a contract extension. I'm telling you, he's working himself into a contract extension. We all got the Bears. Eric picked the Cowboys on this one. Donnie, you and me, we picked the Dolphins. We keep saying it. The Cowboys are posers. They're posers.
Yeah.
Until you prove to the rest of the world that you are a team to be reckoned with in the playoffs. And right now, you're nothing. Micah Parsons, I need him to come down. So I was like, oh, it's the media's fault. No, bro, it's your fault. They were singing your praises when you guys were winning. All of a sudden, you can't win. And then,
Dak went through his seasonal purple patch, and then everyone thinks that the Cowboys are Super Bowl contenders, and then lo and behold, they find some way to come back down to earth. It's usually about Christmas time, to be fair. Not to sound like Stephen A. Smith, but it's usually about around Christmas time and right around in January where the Cowboys start to capitulate. So.
Yep.
And depending on the year, they do it earlier than others. So
self-imploding, baby. Self-imploding, and I love it. I'm all here for
the Cowboys can't win on the road. And I mean, you've got to be able to win on the road.
And now they're going to be traveling in the playoffs. So they can't win number one seed. They're out of it, right? They're probably not going to win the division. They're going to be, you know what I mean?
Did they just wrap up that gift and give it to the Eagles? I mean, were they wrapping it over the last couple of weeks? Because the Eagles were playing their way out of it. I mean, this is no compliment to the Eagles, by no stretch.
None whatsoever, because they played like crap on Sunday too.
They did. Yeah. They did.
So a couple of other games, the Broncos, we all picked that wrong. We all picked the
I didn't see that coming from the Patriots, by the way.
Neither did I. No one saw it. We all picked the Chiefs. That didn't happen. How bad has it gotten in Kansas City that you have Patrick Mahomes whining and fighting with his own teammates on the bench?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's bad.
That's what happens when it comes so easily, and then all of a sudden when it doesn't. Because when it doesn't come easily, you start pointing fingers. And I mean, I'm not saying anything has to do with Taylor Swift, because I know that's just a coincidence. But
yeah,
Kelsey's not been the same since all that went down at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
And I don't think it's truly affecting him. I think it's easy for the media and people to kind of point to that. Yeah. It has nothing to do with that, is what I'm trying to say. They don't have wide receivers on the edges to help. And if they keep having to go to him, that's why he throws to Watson so much, because Kelsey's double teamed and Watson's the other tight end, and he's like the new Kelsey now.
Yeah.
But he's not as good.
Well, I mean, if you have a defensive coordinator that knows like literally anything about the Chiefs, that's all you're going to do is you're going to double team Kelsey, because that's the number one option. Everyone knows it. And I mean, you're going to throw it to Watson because that's all you got. Because as Lynn said, they need another wideout. I think they need 2 wideouts at the very least, because when Kadarius Toney is still lining up and you've got him as one of your wide receivers, you are already at a statistical disadvantage.
You might as well.
You're asking for it. You're asking for it.
Ask the New York Giants about that. They tried the Kadarius Toney experiment too, and they were grateful to get rid of him. And the way he jaws, he doesn't back it up with stats.
No,
if you're going to jaw, you have to back it up with stats.
100%. 2, there's a little bit of me thinking also. Eric Bieniemy had that team rolling.
Mm-hmm. That has something to do with it too. That there's part of that, because that was also a long time comfort zone with Bieniemy there, and they're having to change this year into something different, and it just hasn't worked yet. I'm not saying they won't get it right. They're not going to get it right this year. What they need to do in the offseason is pick up a couple of solid wide receivers, because their defense isn't bad. Their offense is good. Yeah. Their running back's good now.
But the defense is going to give up a lot of plays because they're spending too much time on the field. Right. We've been talking about this for how long now, right? Yeah. You spend time on the field, eventually you the whole bend but not break, that's not going to happen. You're going to break.
This was also the first time in Pat Mahomes' career he started a home game with 2 3-and-outs, which doesn't seem like much. But, I mean, think of all the games he's played in the last few years, and that's the first time he's gone 3-and-out in the first 2 series in a game. That's crazy.
I love it. Professor, as a Broncos fan, Casey imploding is making me happy. By the way, I always love it when the Broncos put their tweet up about the helmets that they're wearing, and the Durham Bulls quickly go in and just go for the kill.
I love it too. I love it.
Yeah, so good.
I have it saved every time. I have it saved because I just love that.
I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. That's my AAA favorite team. I cannot love that one enough. I'm like, yeah, like I go on their Instagram and like it, and then everything else just because it's great. So
yeah, the uniforms they had with the all orange and the white helmet remind me of Syracuse a lot.
But man, I really do love that white helmet.
I love that white helmet. That is very cool.
It's so clean. You know what I mean?
That old logo.
I mean, I hear teams with white helmets rock. I mean, just saying.
Speaking of white helmets, guess who's going to be wearing a white helmet on Thursday Night Football?
Your Cleveland Browns.
Boom, 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 baby! They're bringing the white helmets.
And so, are they going to try to do that to celebrate clinching a playoff spot?
Listen, they win, they're in. That's all I know, okay? And I don't know how I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be watching the game while talking to you guys on Thursday night. So here's what I want to do. Before we continue, I want you guys to pick who the winner is going to be of that game, right? Listen, you won't to offend me. I think you're wrong if you pick the Jets, but I'm going to go with the Browns.
Put me down for the Browns. I don't care what the Jets did. I think the Browns defense is going to limit any kind of who's playing quarterback for the Jets this week. Is it Simeon again? I don't know. I mean, I can't keep up with who the Jets have either signed or who they're playing. So I think the Browns are going to take it. And if they do, I don't want to jinx it, but if they do, I'm happy for you, my man.
I'm going to be probably trying to do some cartwheels. We make the playoffs around here. Okay.
It's content people want to see.
I just want to put the line out there. It's going to be 37 degrees. Cleveland is a 7-point favorite, and the over-under is 35.5 on this one. You know what's funny? I love the storylines. We've always been talking about, right? You know, what's good, what's bad. Storylines is always good for sports. So apparently, Joe Flacco called the Jets when Aaron Rodgers went down.
Yep.
Hey, I'm available.
Yep.
Hey, I'm available.
And was let go by them last season because, once Aaron was coming in, they had no need for him.
They said no. How? Yeah. And then look at him now. Listen, I'm glad. Yeah. I'm glad it happened to me. There's my team because he's our fourth quarterback this year, and he's playing lights out. So playing better than the rest of the quarterbacks that we had all year.
I mean, maybe this is why other than the fact that I don't have the money, but why I wouldn't be an owner, because if I was the owner of the Jets and I would get Aaron Rodgers and I could have Zach Wilson and Flacco as my three quarterbacks, I'd pay all three of them just to do it. Like I wouldn't be one of these owners like, well, we don't need a third. No, you never know what you're going to need. I would have had those three guys at quarterback. I don't care what salary cap, I don't care.
You need to have, at the very least, you need to have two good quarterbacks on your staff. And the third one needs to be an emergency quarterback that's, a game manager that's going to be able to get you out of a funk when something happens.
Because if you could have had a season with Aaron Rodgers, even if Aaron Rodgers hadn't got hurt, if you could have had an actual season where Aaron Rodgers, Joe Flacco were both in the same quarterback room and Zach Wilson is absorbing that, maybe he salvages a career out of this thing.
They're both coming back this next year. The owner already said it. They're both coming back for 2024 season. So I don't know. Who the hell knows at this point?
Well, and if you've been in this league for 5 minutes, I mean, in any capacity, what's the most important, with all due respect to every position that's out there, what's the most important position on the football field? It's the quarterback position. So if you're going to invest anything, investing in three quarterbacks, Donnie, in the scenario you put out there, I would have had Flacco as my backup and had Zach Wilson as my third.
Exactly. I would have had Zach Wilson in the practice squad at this point.
Right. Yeah, well, but that's what I mean. If you're going to have him anyway, he would have been my third option at best, if not practice squad. And why would you not want to bring in a guy like Flacco that knows how to, run a football game?
He already knows the system on top of that.
Yeah, and he can be more than just a game manager. Say what you want about Flacco. He's won a Super Bowl. So the man knows how to play the quarterback position.
That's why I love that signing by Cleveland, because he's a veteran. Yeah. He's very familiar with the scheme that they're playing in Cleveland, right?
I said it when they signed. We all said it when he signed. We said that was a great move. And when he signed, I said he's not going to be on the practice squad for long.
No, everybody knew that he was not going to be in the. Oh yeah, 100%.
All you had to do is look at, with all due respect, all you had to do is look at your depth options and know he's better than anyone that was not Deshaun Watson.
That's why I was so mad when they let go of Josh Dobbs at the beginning of the year. We're like, dude, what are you going to do if Deshaun Watson goes down? Look what happened.
Yeah.
No, listen, I like DTR. He has a lot to work on, right? He needs to. Yeah. But, and look at him now. DTR, by the way, injured. Cleveland just re-signed PJ Walker to come back because DTR is injured. So
PJ Walker just will never go away.
He's that one that just refuses to die, right?
Yeah. Hey, ask Donnie. Donnie knows. PJ Walker just never really goes away.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that's like, okay, I'll come in and get a couple of paychecks. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Why not?
He's not horrible. He's not.
He's not. He's
consistent
not.
Starter.
He's a good backup quarterback to have in case something does go down. He's a game manager, and I hate when people say, "Oh, he's a game manager." That's a good thing.
Exactly.
I don't see that as being a bad thing anymore.
Yeah. Game managers have can win you games. Because if you can
look at the quarterback for the Raiders, by the way, good game manager, did not throw a single.
Was Aaron O'Donnell? Is that what his name is?
O'Connell.
Okay.
Did not throw a single from 2 minutes in the first quarter.
Yeah.
The rest of the game.
And beat the other team that had Pat Mahomes as a quarterback.
Right.
So
and Kelsey.
Hey, Tom Brady was the ultimate game manager, so you start right there with the game manager conversation.
Yeah,
And Lynn's right.
if you've got this, that makes up for all the athleticism in the world, because if you've got this, you can win football games.
And Brock Purdy's about to get paid, by the way.
Oh,
Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, was the third string quarterback, and like she said, he won those games, got him to the playoffs. Now he's a starter.
Yeah,
take advantage of the opportunities.
Yeah, those numbers on that new contract he's going to get are going to look very Purdy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice. Ding, ding.
So, Donnie, you got the Browns as well this week?
Yeah, definitely. I can't take the Jets. Not in this game. No way.
Another story that I wanted to talk about really quick, and then I know that Brett gave us sent us a good topic, but I'm going to put that for next week for Thursday, because it's really good. Is regarding baseball, steroid area, Hall of Fame. So it's a good discussion to have that I really want to have before we end the 2023 and then go into New Year, right? But Detroit Lions, guys, the Detroit Lions, 33 years, right? And then now they win the division, they're in the playoffs, dude. They're like Cinderella story. If it wasn't because the Browns are in it, I'll be rooting for Detroit right now. It's either for me between Detroit. It would have been between Detroit and Miami Dolphins. Those would have been the teams for me.
I know you're only saying that because you're that's contingent on the Colts making the playoffs, so I get it. But but anyways, the congratulations to the Lions, and what I loved about Dan Campbell and about how classy he is he brought out the longest serving Lions into the middle of the room.
Saw that was great,
and really gave them some love, because, and I didn't know this, and you guys maybe already knew this, but I didn't realize that Dan Campbell was on the 2008 Lions that finished 0-16.
Yep,
and
tight end.
Yeah, tight end, and I guess I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but so you can just tell how much that means to him. But I thought that as the coach, to bring out your longest serving players and put them in the middle of the room and say, they know what it's like to go through it, and I think that builds character, and it really shows respect to your guys, and and it's going to go a long way into them wanting to play for him through the good and bad times. So,
and how about Jared Goff?
Yeah,
right.
He's been doubted.
He was sent to Siberia, right? Like that's what everybody said.
Yeah. I mean, and he's done. Well, let's face it. He's done what Matt Stafford couldn't do in Detroit. He's actually won.
Yeah. And the thing is, he got no credit for taking the Rams to the Super Bowl when he was with them. It was all McVay, and then they get shipped off, and they bring Stafford in, and it's like, oh, we needed Stafford. No, McVay.
No, Stafford was given the keys to the kingdom with a ridiculously talented roster that where like the Rams literally mortgaged their future in order to win that Super Bowl. I mean, let's face it. I mean, they don't. When's the next time they have a draft pick that's worth anything?
Yeah.
And so even when they get one, they seem to it's like money burning a hole in their pocket. They get rid of it as quickly as they get it. And Jared Goff played with a less talented Rams roster, you could argue, and took them to the Super Bowl. And Matt Stafford gets a chance to play with an even better team, because people forget the moves that they made before they made the Stafford deal. They improved that team before that. Yeah. And Jared Goff.
I agree with you 100%. I think it's correct 100%. But I think it made Jared Goff better. Yeah. Leaving.
It put a chip on his shoulder, and a chip on when you play with a chip on your shoulder, a lot of times
that's a good motivation, man.
It is, man, no doubt.
Exactly.
So I'm so happy. Like I said, I'm so happy. I'm a huge fan of what the Miami Dolphins are doing. So good for Tua, right? Everybody hates on the dude, and man, I've been a fan of that kid since he came out.
I'm just happy to see him play football. Like, after last year and all those injuries he had, regardless of what the record was, I'm just happy to see the man playing football.
100%.
I mean, and he's balling.
Dude,
and I love what Professor Hatter says here about the Pistons.
I saw that, dude. That's bad.
I mean, man, just Monty Williams is having a time in Detroit. He's like, man, why did I take this job?
Mahomes buys the whole line gift cards for Christmas parties. O-line have to set up for McDonald's coupons. Hey,
for now, for now.
Hey, Brock Purdy, he's getting paid the minimum. Okay, so he's not making that. He's living at home.
But don't worry,
he has a roommate or something like that. So
yeah, don't worry. The 49ers O-line just has to wait a little bit. Their gifts are coming.
Yeah.
If Purdy, because part of the reason Purdy might get paid is because of his O-line, because you have to be protected and stay healthy in order to show off your talent. So, I think those big gifts are coming. Provided that they keep doing their job,
they're gonna be just fine with CMC there. I love it. I mean, the fact that he's like, no, I'm not and him saying is like, I'm not the MVP. CMC is the MVP, right? That's
guys. That's what leaders do.
That's what leaders do.
Yeah, they make it about everybody else. So, I mean, like him or hate him, Tom Brady always made his other guys look good. I mean, he didn't have to have the limelight necessarily. I mean, he kind of commanded it with his presence, but I do remember plenty of times where he deflected that credit and gave it to the likes of Randy Moss.
Yep.
Gave it to the other guys, James White. All those other guys that helped win Super Bowls. Wes Welker. I mean,
that's how it goes.
Yeah,
so it should be.
That's what leaders do. That's what leaders do. They make people around them better.
That's right. One last thing before we get out of here, guys, and I found this very interesting, and I heard it today. The NFL did not flex any games this week.
Wow.
Meaning that the Dolphins and Ravens are still going to stay at a 1:00 shot, and we're gonna get to have a wonderful game of Packers and Vikings, 8:20 Sunday Night Football.
Are they going to?
I'm surprised they don't have more Saturday.
What they do these primetime games, because they have had some clunkers this season.
I'm hoping that it's a full-blown blowout Thursday night. The only time I'm wishing is a full-blown blowout is when the Browns are just blowing the doors out of the Jets. That's it. Otherwise, I'm good. Why? Because I want to make sure that when it gets to the fourth quarter, that I can breathe a little bit easier, and then I know that my team is going to win a wild card spot.
Well, I mean, you need the fourth quarter to practice your cartwheels. So
I don't want to talk about it too much because they might just end up laying an egg. I don't think they will. I think Joe Flacco, right, with all the weapons he has on him.
Don't worry, you're not the Colts.
No, I think that we got this. And then the only reason why the game last week was such a close game when it comes to the scoring was because by the fourth quarter, they took out all their starters. That's why it ended up being a 36-22 game, because they put the second and third stringers at the end of the game in the fourth quarter. So,
well, I'm hoping next year Amazon talks to the NFL and says, hey, we need to start talking about flexing games earlier in the season, because they ended up with some total duds. I mean, I don't know what they can do at this point, because they have to kind of set the schedule out there.
Wasn't it supposed to be divisional games on Thursday night? It was supposed to be divisional games.
It was supposed to be. No, Amazon's going to be going to them next year and saying, we want the Carolina Panthers to have all Thursday night games next season. The whole season. Thursday night schedule.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not
Don't
good.
do that.
Because that's
poor Donnie.
So
we're gonna have a Panthers Colts.
Oof. All right, Patrick, what you got going on this week, my friend?
Well, it's yet to be filmed yet, but it's going to be tomorrow morning. I've got the Head History series coming out, and it's going to be on the normal corn belters. So got that one coming out about midday tomorrow, and so yeah,
love it.
Yeah, so just a little something different. I've been trying some different teams that maybe haven't been out there as much. I've been trying to, not put the same teams out there every week. Try to give.
That's great.
Try to give more teams some love, and so that's why you've seen a lot more of the collegiate teams and the independent teams recently, because let's face it, they don't always get as much press as the affiliated teams do. So look out for
what we're here for, baby.
Yeah, and that's right. So look out for the normal corn belters about midday tomorrow, and hope you guys like it.
Now that Marion knew how to buy gift cards for his own.
Oh yeah, he got him isotoner gloves, man.
There you go.
Couldn't go wrong with isotoner.
Donnie Wise, what you got going on, my friend? Any head?
Man, I'm doing nothing this week. I actually got a call today about a cable that got damaged, and he's like, "You want to work at midnight tonight?" And I'm like, "No, do not. Somebody else can handle that one."
not this guy today.
I am laying low. I'm doing stuff around the house, helping Rhonda with some things, and working on my studio. You can see my new backdrop here. I've kind of gone through some boxes. I actually found, I'll try to have some show and tell Thursday, some things I found in some boxes I was going through, some really cool old things that I've had packed away. Just really neat things. And so anyway, I'm trying to get some shelves up, get some stuff sort of organized in here. And
is that the mayoral man cave?
Yeah, exactly. I reclaimed this for my kids. It used to be the game room for the kids, and so
no, that's used to be. It's the mayoral man cave.
That's the man cave studio, baby. That's what it is.
That's right.
Yeah. Until you give it the name that you want, I'm calling it the mayoral man cave.
Hey, that'll work.
It's the baby's man cave. I'm going to go find my voice, my friend. That's why I haven't put anything out as for the new episode this week, which was going to be the conclusion of my conversation with Zach Rep. But I literally was not able to put any voice into doing the intro and outro, and I didn't want to put out bad work out there. So yeah, a lot of people say, well, something is better than nothing. No, I want to put I did that, and I felt bad for the whole week, and I didn't want to do that again. So next week will be the final episode of part 2 of Zach Rab's conversation, which is really, really good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't expect an up and rising content creator as named by Meta and Facebook, an up and coming Facebook content creator, that content's got to be on point. So
man, gotta keep it. Actually, I'm working on some stuff for the new year, right? 2024 is going to be a great year for corporate media, for Dad Hat Chronicles, for our show here. We're going to have some fun this year, guys, and I can't wait. I'm so pumped for 2024 for what we can do and what we can build as content creators, and on this show, it's going to be amazing.
Looking forward to it.
So until then, guys, support the minor leagues. Go buy a Dad Hat. Actually, if not, don't buy one yet. Let's wait until National Hat Day, and then we'll can have a conversation. We might just do a live stream and then talk about the stuff that we got. How's that?
I think that's a plan.
I love it. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.